But let's move on here to the reigning Eastern Conference champion who knocked out a couple of these Central Division teams, the Cavs and the Bucks we'll get to later. The Indiana Pacers, who last season, after getting off to a bit of a rough start, one of the best teams in the league the second half of the year, 50 wins, fourth in the East, and they made it all the way to Game 7 of the NBA Finals before losing to the Thunder after Tyrese Halliburton's magical playoff run ended with an Achilles injury that will have him out for the entire season. And then following that in the offseason, they lose Miles Turner to the Milwaukee Bucks. And that's really the main offseason loss right there. They acquired some centers to try to hold down the spot. They re-signed Isaiah Jackson, Tony Bradley. They got Jay Huff from Memphis. But another key is that the day before Game 7 of the Finals, they reacquired their own first-round pick from the New Orleans Pelicans. So they do have their own draft pick. Here is the Pacers team heading into the season. Of course, Halliburton out for the entirety of it. Nick, let's start with you. I guess, where do you want to start off with the Pacers? Of course, a different outlook heading into this season after their magical playoff run last year.
Well, I think the Pacers have options going into the year. Like, because they traded back for their pick, that was huge, and like they can be bad and still benefit from it, which is a big key, because you don't want to be bad and not benefit from it. If you're gonna be bad, you want to benefit from it and get a high pick, and they have that option this year. But I also think that their depth and experience is going to be undersold going into the year because of the fact that they just came off a finals run, and Ben Math, talking about like high level guys who can score off the bench, like Ben Math is going to be in the starting rotation this year. And I think their depth and experience is going to lead them to be a little bit better than a lot of people think. I still got them around 500 or so.
All right, Joey, what do you think about the Pacers and I guess sort of their off season?
Their offseason kind of sucks. I feel bad just because they've lost two incredible pieces of their huge finals run. And Halliburton, obviously, and then Miles Turner was a big staple of that Pacers team for almost like a decade now. I tend to agree with Nick, though. Like, they can be bad, and I think that's probably the option I would choose just because – I don't know. You have such a good, young, talented team that you should really take advantage of this opportunity. However, they still have quality guys, and especially in this weaker Eastern Conference, I'm with Nick. They could definitely hover around 500 and possibly get into that play-in spot. Like, I would not be shocked at that at all.
Yeah, Uncle Joe, that seems to be the question here because, again, the Pacers have their own first-round pick, so they have the ability to, like Nick said, benefit if they are bad. But they're the Pacers, and even in these situations, they're still always competitive. There usually isn't a time where they're bad. So what do you think the Pacers are going to end up doing here? Do you think they still want to be competitive?
I think they're still going to try to make the playoff run. It's too valuable to some of their younger guys. I mean, Nick's right. I mean, they got a big depth. I think it's really going to – I've got them at 42, 43 wins. I got them just above 500. I got them coming in 9-10 in the East.
Surprised you think the 9th and 10th seeds are going to have that good of records in the East.
Yeah, I agree.
You'd be surprised. I think it's going to change this, but I don't know if it gets to 8 because I think it's just going to be really, really tight. I think you're going to have a lot of teams in the 40 to 44 win mark because the East – is what it is. I think you'll have a little more parity. I think the teams that are really down low are going to, win a little. And I don't think there's, although Joey thinks there's another 60-win team out there. But I think, how Ben Shepherd plays coming off the bench, I mean, he's going to have to step up. But the big difference is, I mean, Naismith and Nembhard really got a lot of experience, right? And so they'll play with more confidence, but they're not Halliburton. I think it was Naismith that went off in one of the playoff games, but Halliburton was the guy that converted. And it's really going to come down to, can their center by committee between Jackson and Huff
and Wiseman, they're getting Wiseman back.
And Bradley, yep.
Yeah. I mean, if that's not serviceable, they're going to get destroyed because, I mean, Toppin, you're going to get a good quality out of Toppin. Siakam's going to be there. And, but Furphy or Shepherd, I mean, that's a great look there. You're going to get what you're going to get out of McConnell and Toppin. I'll take them as my 7th, 8th guy all day of the week. They're great off the bench.
Yep.
But we were talking about the Cavs being weak as backup front court. These guys are weak on the front. They don't even have a 1 and 2 to start. So I think that's really, really going to hurt them come the playoffs. But I think they have enough of a competitive servant, and they've got a great coach.
Carlisle.
He gets the most out of his rosters, no matter what roster he's had. Even when he's had terrible rosters in the past, he's always gotten to 500. He's always been in that clutch race.